Let me just pull. It's funny because this is how I juggle when I'm doing this. So here we go. I have my laptop up so I can see people's comments because on my phone.
Yep. Tis learning technology and the devices and everything else, but hey, we got it.
Right, absolutely. So okay,
Thank you
so
for having me. I'm so excited to be on today.
oh my gosh, we're so excited to have you. So I was just sharing a little bit while we were having that connection time of how we met. I was sharing with people about LifeVantage and as wonderful as LifeVantage is on so many levels with the product line and just the powerful ways that we can take back so much of our health and move in a way that lets us really feel like we can proactively influence our health in ways that maybe we couldn't before. Another aspect of LifeVantage is we get to meet amazing people and we get a really, really strong community. And sometimes I meet people who become like family and they live on the other side of the world or on the other side of the country, across oceans. And that's amazing. And sometimes we meet people that are in our backyard.
Like,
And
yes, I know.
yes, yes. And so, for those of you who don't know me or Liz, we're in Michigan. We're in Southwest Michigan. And we were on a LifeVantage trip in New Orleans and we met and found out that we're literally just like within an hour of each other. So I was in Grand Rapids yesterday.
Oh,
That's how close we are. And she's a part of an activated community up about an hour north of me, and I'm an hour south. And we didn't know each other, but LifeVantage brought us together, and here we are in Michigan. So um, Liz is just an amazing human. As soon as I met her, everybody, when you meet those people whose hearts just light up and you feel connected to, that's Liz. And she is a fitness and wellness enthusiast. She's a physical trainer. She's a teacher. And I just love the heart of teachers. Like she really has a teacher's heart. And you can see in the love of what she does it because she loves it. So just even being an educator and you know how methodical of thinkers that the educators are. And Liz has just an amazing health journey to share. And so I'm just going to interview her. So relax, Liz. I'm going to pull stuff out of you with questions. And as we talk, some of you guys might have questions. And so you can feel absolutely free to type your questions in the chat. I'll try to field those as we're doing this interview. And if some of you are watching an hour, a day, a week, a month later, then this live that's happening today on Thursday, December 28th, then I'll make sure that Liz gets the questions. She's on our page. She's on Proactive Health and Wellness, so chances are she would see it as well. And we'll try to get your questions answered the best that we can. I always tell people if we don't know the answers, we usually know someone who does. So if it's a little bit outside of our realm, we'll work with that. So anyway, Liz, what did I miss about you? Is there anything else just in introducing you that we should know before?
You did a good job. And I know that there's a little bit of an introduction on your page, kind of what I'd be sharing. I was introduced to this whole concept of cellular activation 5 years ago after a crazy journey with chronic Lyme disease. And I know we're going to kind of share that today, but
yeah,
through all of everything that I've been through, I truly am an educator at heart. I became a trainer primarily because I was trying to figure out my own body, because at the time I was undiagnosed with Lyme and having a lot of issues with chronic pain. So I took it upon myself to advocate and figure out what was going on. Lo and behold, like the true culprit of a lot of that was all embedded with Lyme. But, I just see through everything I've been through and being introduced to LifeVantage and our products, I couldn't not share what has helped me so much. So there's a little bit of that the educator part for me is authentically sharing and helping others that have struggled with their health and just issues that have gone on for many years. Truly try to find like the root cause of things. So I'm passionate. My kids are 16, 13, and 11, so they keep me busy. I just
love it.
Yeah, I think you covered most of it.
Yeah,
but
good. But it's been about 5 years, I think you said, that you've been with LifeVantage. And so what was life like for you specifically? Your health, your day to day, how you felt before, how was it 6 years ago, 7 years ago? What was life like before LifeVantage found you?
Well, I can say that 7 years ago, a Lyme diagnosis was actually a blessing, and kind of go backwards in time, I went undiagnosed with chronic Lyme disease for 18 years. So
Oh my gosh.
to say that my journey, I can give you the Reader's Digest version,
Yeah.
but it's been very encompassing of my life. You know, I'm 44 years old now, and I can honestly say that I feel the best I have since I've been 17 years old. So, I mean, that kind of can put in perspective. We know as we age, we kind of have issues, but mine started way back when I was 17. I went on this outward bound wilderness trip, hiking through the mountains in Colorado. Came back, and I developed Bell's palsy, which at the time they had no idea really why. It is a huge indicator of Lyme disease, but at the time it wasn't really known or wasn't talked about. I got really sick, but I was a healthy, otherwise 17-year-old. The paralysis in my face came back, but then starting from there, going downhill with my health. A year later, I ended up with shingles at 18. Like, who at 18 gets shingles? Right. I don't really know too many people. So clearly had some issues with immune system. I struggled my whole freshman year in college with mono. I started developing a lot of neuro issues through college with really high anxiety. But again, at the time it's stress, it's college, it's change. And then I started struggling with insomnia, which I went years and years and years without sleep. So it was a journey, and I was in and out of doctor's offices right after college. And I met my husband during college, so he saw everything start to decline with my health as well. I was very active. I started developing a lot of like neck and back issues. It was in and out of chiropractors, CAT scans, MRIs. They're like, you're just being too hard on your body. But I was, maybe 21 years old. It wasn't like I should be feeling these effects that I was already feeling.
Right.
But nothing came back that anything was wrong. So I get adjusted. I leave. I'd come back. Just kind of, it was doing a lot to mask the symptoms. They put me on lots of different pharmaceuticals for sleeping, for anxiety, but truly not really getting to the root cause of things. So
did it give you relief? Like, did you find any kind
very temporary? And it was one of those things. It was like, if anyone's ever dealt with anxiety or depression, and it's like, I think there's a time and a place for medications and pharmaceuticals. I totally believe that. But
absolutely.
But and it did. It helped me get through some really tough times. But I also felt like I wasn't myself, and I felt like even with sleeping, the insomnia was so extreme that I wouldn't wake up feeling rested. I wouldn't wake up feeling my best self. And I struggled a lot with like weight gain, but I was not eating enough calories to be gaining weight. I wasn't having regular cycles. So I struggled hormonally. After college, just the list for Lyme, and if you've ever met anyone with Lyme disease, there's not two people that their symptoms are exactly the same. Really? And there's over like 2,000 different things that it can affect in your body. And literally feel like I could have probably checked off all of them. So kind of just keep piggybacking on everything. I lived like that for a long time, just not feeling like my best self. In and out of doctor's offices. When we counted up, 52 doctors before I even got a diagnosis. And it was a couple of homeopathic doctors out in California that started uncovering a lot of co-infections. So with Lyme disease, ticks can carry different pathogens, and I struggled with 6 different co-infections along with Lyme. So I had Mycoplasma, Bartonella, Epstein-Barr virus, Ehrlichia, Babesia, and I'm not sure if I said I think I said Mycoplasma, Rocky Mountain spotted fever. So
oh my gosh, Liz.
it was like a petri dish, and each of those co-infections, they manifest with different symptoms in your body. So there was a lot going on. And like I said, a blessing 7 years ago was a diagnosis 7 years ago was a blessing. But the crazy thing is that I struggled with fertility. I ended up getting pregnant with 2 of my kids naturally. And then my third one, and all of my kids since their birth, we had health issues. So again, we were in and out of doctor's offices. trying to figure out what's going on. My oldest had a lot of migraines. My middle child struggled with a lot of bipolar type issues. And then my youngest had major GI issues.
Wow.
So when I got a diagnosis,
Yeah.
they said, we need to get your kids in here.
Yeah.
And my kids all tested positive for Lyme disease. And I had transmitted it through utero to all three of them. So
Wow.
it was a lot. And of course that mama bear comes out, even though I was literally bedridden almost 7 years ago. I can honestly say that my kids are the reason I got up in the morning and I decided to move forward. And doctors say it's probably a good choice that I did, because a lot of people at that point give up. And
yeah.
I really believe that it probably would have killed me. I had a lot of inflammation on the brain. I had seen a neurologist, but they couldn't figure out where the inflammation was coming from. So everything that I dealt with was Lyme related, looking
Wow.
backwards.
Wow.
So then the journey started of attacking and detoxing. And, this is when I was opened up to this whole new holistic world of like toxins and what we're getting in our environment, and really truly looking at our diet and cleaners and beauty care and skincare. And it was very overwhelming, because I realized I didn't realize what I was doing. I mean, no one had ever educated me that, the processed lunch meat I was getting was causing issues, and the Downy fabric softener and the, and so that's really where I started opening up to this whole new side of, being more holistic and reducing our toxic load. So I knew what I had to control, and that was part of our journey was, decreasing our toxic load so that we could get rid of all this stuff that was going on inside us and start healing. And
how old were you when you got the diagnosis?
Okay, so I'm 44. To do the math.
Because you were 17. You were 17 when you started declining.
Yeah, so 44 now. So like it's probably been almost 8 years, actually, 7.5 years.
Okay.
So, 37? Am I doing the math right?
And so your husband never really knew you feeling good.
No. Oh, and the crazy thing is that, we can go into kind of things that I've done to help with the Lyme, and, there's lots of protocols and lots of treatment. It's like, I'm not a doctor. I don't claim to be a doctor.
Right.
We don't claim to, mitigate or prevent any disease or illness, but I can just share what's helped myself and my family kind of through our journey. But no, my husband, and, the sad part is that, he supported and he was there through me, but emotionally speaking, like I don't think he realized the extent of it. And there was a part of him that was like, she's crazy because nothing's wrong with her. Everything kept coming back. Right. And so they think for a while and it was stressful, because all of those things that I was doing, I mean, Lyme is a very expensive disease to have. And it's just put a lot of stress on our marriage for different reasons as well. But when he started seeing, and I'll kind of share too, when activation was introduced to my healing journey, within a month, he felt like he said, I feel like I'm getting my wife back again. And like, he met me right in the beginning, and for a few years, it was the first, 5 years I was having issues, but it was manageable compared to where it came to. And so,
how did it find you? Like, so you're obviously not feeling well, and you've got the burden of your kid's diagnosis, which I know is so hard when you know that there's something that is causing, but also is just to see your kids struggling and living with all of that. And everything you described sounds so defeating too, like how defeating every step of the way, to not, even when you get an answer, if there's no help and no freedom from it, it can become so discouraging. And so here you are in this place, and how were you introduced to LifeVantage, and were you even open, or did you just want to kind of slap the person who shared it with you?
I had been through so much, and I had tried so much. I can honestly say that there was part of me that was a little skeptic when I was introduced to our activation and the premises behind it. But because I have done so much, and I have researched, and I've learned a lot, it was 2 years, at least 2 years or 2.5 years after we had been diagnosed. So I had been doing lots of protocols and things prior to being introduced to activation to combat our Lyme and the co-infections that we were dealing with. So like I had a very good foundation of what I knew we needed to do to help heal the body. And like Lyme is one of those things that like it's forever with me, but it's in remission. So like my kids and I have been in a remission state, thank God, for over 5 years now. And I knew when I was introduced to our product line that the premises behind was truly getting to the root cause and helping heal the cells. And if there's anything that I knew is that after years and years and years of what I've been through, like this affected every cell in my body. And I knew that truly all the detoxing I was doing, I mean, I was doing infrared saunas every other day. I was doing foot baths every other. I was doing so many different modalities, and I truly believe it took a lot of different things to eradicate all the pathogens within our body. And you know, my kids, like I said, I didn't really get into much of them. You know, they dealt with some different symptoms and some different issues and some parasites, and we had some mold issues, and it's like we were an onion. We had to peel back these layers to truly get to the root cause. And when I was introduced, it was actually an old neighbor of mine, and she knew what we had been going through, and she just was like, I need to tell Liz because this is something that could definitely benefit her family. And so I was more open ears because I trusted this person who came to me. And I'm grateful to Katrina. Her name's Katrina. And she shared with me, and I listened, and then I kind of dug in. You know, I did my little research, what I did, and you know, I went on PubMed because we have now over 31 peer-reviewed studies, and I jumped in because at the time I was taking 2 granny pill boxes full of different supplements, and I did not want to live that way anymore. And I truly felt that we can keep this Lyme like our disease at bay, and hopefully, you know, there's life stressors, and some people's Lyme can activate for different reasons, but like my goal, and I truly in my heart believe that the worst is behind us. And I just know, I know too much now, and we do too much. And you know, when I was introduced to this, I started on what's called our Vitality Stack, and it's actually covers 4 pillars of your health. So I knew the NRF2, which is our reduces the oxidative stress in your body, and that's linked to inflammation, which is pretty much linked to any disease and illness. So I knew that reducing that was not going to hurt me. And I actually went to my doctor because I had questions, and I was just like, do you feel like this would be something that could benefit me? And I said, do you feel that if reducing my oxidative stress naturally could benefit me? And she's like, absolutely. So I was like, okay. So I was like, got my doctor.
Great way to put it.
And then there's an NRF1, which is addressing our mitochondria health. And I knew the energy source in my cell, like it's like a 1-2 punch. You put the NRF2 and NRF1 together, that it's helping each other. And then at our omegas, which is our brain and heart. And I was already at the time taking omega, so I just kind of swapped it out. And I knew the sourcing behind it. And to be honest, the old omegas I used to take, I get those fishy burps, and that I didn't even know was not a good sign. That actually means that the fish is actually rancid, and it's creating more oxidative stress. So I probably had that going against me. So that benefited me as well. And then ProBio, which is our probiotic, and addressing gut health. So that's where I started. And I had to wean my way, or I eased myself onto our activators, because I do also have the MTHFR double gene mutation, which if you're not familiar with what that is, it's actually a gene in your body that helps you properly detoxify. So that's not good for anyone who's dealing with chronic illness. It actually can hold you back a lot. And so I had to really, I know that I'm sensitive to different things. So I started with 1/4 of an NRF2, and I worked my way up to a whole. And then I started with 1 NRF1 and worked my way up. But within that, still dealing with a lot of issues with sleep and like anxiety. And I felt like a calmness about my body that I had not felt before. And I was like, I need to get my kids started on this. So that's when I started them on the NRF2 and the ProBio as well. And kids are kind of like placebo, because like you can tell with them, and they have age going for them as well. Like I knew for myself, it would take more time for the activators to take effect, and for me to like notice a huge change, especially through all the health journey I'd been on. But I was consistent and stuck with it. With them, my oldest could articulate that she was feeling better. And so she struggled with migraines. That was her biggest thing. Like she missed 46 days in 2nd grade from migraines. We were in and out of
Yeah.
neurologist, eye specialist, allergist, nothing was wrong. It was all Lyme related. And
Wow.
since starting the NRF2, she has never had a migraine after the first month. And she's now 16. So
Wow.
she has headaches, but nothing like that put her out. Like she couldn't
Yeah.
have lights on or anything.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I know that with her. With my middle child, we also have a brain drink. It's a nootropic called Axio, and actually penetrates through the blood-brain barrier and affects your neurotransmitters. My middle is my one who struggled a lot with bipolar issues and really attention, ADD type behaviors.
Yeah.
She, and it was her teacher, we had conferences, and I had not shared that we were starting anything or doing anything different, but she's like, Allie has just honed in. It's like she's getting her work done. I'm not having to redirect her. I'm not. And so that just to me was like a huge indicator. And she still cannot go a day without her Axia. And I can't either. I love
Yeah, me either.
Well. But she just, it really helped benefit her brain at first. And I know systemically it was doing what it should be doing. And then my youngest, she's the one who struggled with a lot of gut issues and stuff. And she was so little, like, you know, she's 11 right now. So we're talking 5 years ago. So she, and 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. So she flourished. And like since then, you know, our company's come out with a lot of different products, and I've added in our NAD and I pretty much am a product of the product now. And I authentically started sharing because of the fact that like people were noticing differences with my own health, and it was just easy to share. And you know, at the time it was like I was not looking for another opportunity of any sort, but being an educator, I felt like it was my due diligence. Like I could not share that. And then there was a part of me too that was like, okay, well, if I could share enough to at least get our products paid for, that's kind of, this is all evolved. But this has become such a platform now to help others on their health journeys, and kind of I've been connected to so many people in the Lyme community, and you know, just kind of like what I'm doing now, and I'm sharing what's helped myself, and like if it can help someone else, then there's good if that's come from that.
Absolutely. What do you remember, like, for your husband or those people that gave you feedback about you seeming different? Did they specifically say, like, you seem more alive, like you have more energy?
Oh,
did you seem like a different person?
A biggest thing too, I felt like my eyes felt thick, like it just felt like I always had a fog. Partially because I wasn't sleeping, partially it's just because your eyes indicate a lot about your health. My eyes just I felt like bright. It must like a film came off of them. And I really noticed it with my oldest daughter. I could tell her eyes, just like something changed with her eyes. I mean, friends that I've been lifelong friends with, they just knew. I mean, it presented itself. Like I have always been a positive person. And what truly got me through all those years of chronically being sick and undiagnosed is that I chose to get up. I chose to take one step forward. I chose to put a smile on my face, even though inside I felt like I was shriveling up. And that makes me sad to think about that old me, because it truly is the old me. And it's like, I've done a lot of work on myself to kind of work through that past and the trauma from all that. And there's some PTSD about some of it, but at the same time, it's like, I just have in my heart and know I have in my tool belt things that I know that are going to benefit me for the rest of my life and my kids. Like, you know, we eat really clean. There's other things that, you know, help the body heal, you know, your exercise, your water, your nutrition, you know, all these different things. On top of what we know activation can help is just amazing. And
absolutely.
Our newest activator, which is our activated liquid collagen. I mean, I feel like I have friends that, and if you choose to put Botox in your body, if you choose to do that is your own call, and I'm okay with that. But like, I know for myself, that's not a choice I'm going to make. And, you know, I'm 44 and we age, we're going to have wrinkles, we're going to have things, but like, I have not done anything as far as that, but like that collagen, I mean, I could notice a huge difference. For me, it was first brain. Like I had been feeling great, but it like really helped my brain and I felt more like awake. And now, the skin benefits, I've been documenting pictures and whatnot. I mean, who doesn't want to feel like they've got brighter skin and less, you know, more refined lines? And I'm really loving that. And for joints, I'm still very active, and it's really benefited like post workouts and
Yeah.
helping me even stay in the game longer.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I know for me, in my past, I had gone through, like, I know what depression feels like. I know what anxiety feels like. I know I had an eating disorder when I was young and had to go into treatment. And so I've been through a lot of like the emotional disorder type feeling. I can recognize pretty debilitating depression. And I think living this lifestyle, you become very aware in yourself of what's happening in your body. And then in my adulthood, since being activated, it's been interesting because we've had a lot of trauma. Um, and I can have this awareness that I'm not okay and I need to give myself rest and time, um, and be good to myself in it and care for myself. But I can feel something holding my emotions and my mental health
A
together. Like,
100%.
yes, like, and that's what I was gonna say. Like, you've been through so much, and like, and as I've added products, like when collagen came out, we had some severe trauma happen. It couldn't have even been on my radar to take a before and after picture,
Mm-hmm.
but I felt a boost keeping me from cracking. Like,
Oh,
and I say
yeah.
this with a smile on my face, people, but I'm saying, like, I was like, I don't know how I'm not having a mental break right now.
Oh, yeah.
And so can you feel that in your mental health
Oh,
with our
yeah.
products?
I used like little things would be a lot for me. Just,
Yeah.
when I was dealing with anxiety and that crippling effect that anxiety can literally grip around your throat.
Yeah.
Like I said, when I shared that the biggest thing I started when I started activating my body that first month, I just felt calmer. Like I felt like my body relaxed. And I'm the same as you. I have lived a lot. I've gone through a lot.
Yeah.
This past year especially, I'm ready to bring on 2024. But we had a
Yeah.
lot of family. My husband got transferred to Texas. We were pending a move this summer. We were trying to sell
Wow.
our house. We have 3 kids. And then he decided to quit that job and then start a new job. And so there's been a lot of
Yeah.
unsettled factors this year. And the pre-activated Liz would have put me in a tailspin. I
Yeah.
probably wouldn't have been sleeping. I probably would have been pulling my hair out. But I have just felt very at ease. And
Yeah.
to be able to live that way is
Yeah.
just so much. It's just a good thing. Like we know things are going to happen in our life, but being able to have some sense of control versus
Yeah.
the out of control
Yeah.
feeling is just been a huge part for me too. I agree
Yeah.
with you.
Yeah. Like a balance. There's a
Yes.
balance in all of our health. I think, we could probably spend hours talking about each aspect, whether it was pain or inflammation or disease. But I think, when we look at mental health, even specifically, between Axio and all of our activators holistically affect all of your body, every organ. So it's like you can't take NRF2 or NRF1 or NAD without having an effect on our
Yep.
brain. And to feel that balance and that leveling is without, because I was on an antidepressant for 10 years of my life.
Mm-hmm.
And and I'm not against it, but like you, I didn't quite feel myself. It leveled me, but there was a cost.
Yeah.
It took away part of who I was. And um, with this, I feel that leveling. I feel such a balance. And when you're sharing your story, my heart immediately goes to like that emotional toll, like you said, the trauma, the PTSD, the frustration, and just um, to be able to kind of handle some of these things now, even though you're feeling better,
Mm-hmm.
and have that leveling emotionally and mentally, it has to be just a gift.
It is a gift, and I think that's the thing is it's a gift that you want to share with everyone, and you just, and especially if you've gone through those traumas and those
Yeah.
different situations, it's like I think the part of me is like I'm servant hearted, and it's really truly I wish that everyone could see and understand the science and what we have our hands on and give it time, because it's not one of those things that activation, it doesn't happen overnight. It's not a magic pill. It's not something that immediately you feel the effects from it.
Yeah.
If you drink an Axio, like within 15 minutes, you will notice something. But for the majority, our products synergistically together do what they can do with time. And they say with age that you have to give it at least 1 month for every decade you are old. So being 44, like a full 4 months of activating your body, you will see more of the full benefits, but that doesn't say that after month 1 you start noticing positives. And I think it truly is just tracking and noticing those little differences. And I've had a lot of people that have decided to go off product for whatever reason. They don't, a month later they're calling me back because they're noticing, oh my gosh, my knees are killing me again, or I'm having issues with sleep. And it's one of those things. It's like it's inevitable. As we age, we are going to, our antioxidant production declines, and it's the toll that life has on our bodies. It's the price we pay for being on this earth. It's like we breathe air, our bodies oxidize inside, and our cells do. So if this can help prevent or help with aging or assist with things and issues that you're dealing with, like people need to know about it. So I am forever grateful. And like, I can't claim that it cured my Lyme. I can say it's played a huge factor in our healing, because I'm a living proof of what that has been. And even sitting here talking to you today, like even probably 4 years ago, 5, 4.5, like, I don't think I could have put together all these things, because like neurally I was not right. Like prior to being diagnosed, I was writing down my whole day because I would forget to pick up my child from preschool. Like I was not functioning properly. So the fact that I can sit here and really like have a conversation with all of you and share my whole journey now is just, I hope that it helps someone else. So that's, after everything I've been through, and whether you're a person of faith or not, but I truly believe that, God puts us to test in life for different reasons and seasons, and it's for us to be able to help other people do it. So
absolutely.
And that's kind of why I just feel like I keep at this. And
So you're 5 years into activation, and I do see, I'm 7.5. And even though, like that month, give it a month for every decade, or every decade you've been alive. But, like I have a friend who was on it 2 years before she never had a migraine again. And I always think, God, what if she would have stopped at 4 months? She was 40. And I've seen things after 1 year, after 2 years. It's just the cumulative effect is so incredible.
Absolutely.
But tell me too, so what is life like now? Like, what is Liz's life like compared to what it was before activation?
I mean, it's hard to put into words because it's so opposite of what it is now. And I think that it makes me recount and be grateful for the journey and what I have been on. And I do notice, like, I can fall asleep at night, like before I'd have to like take sleep meds
so much
unwind. So it's like, even like unwinding and shutting down my body at night, like I'm able, I have a sense of, and I'm getting rest. Like sleep is so big for everyone. It's like, if I don't get 8 hours now, I feel like I get the PTSD because I used to only get like 3 hours. So I'm sleeping, and I know when I sleep, my body's healing. I am very competitive. So I am very avid gym goer, and I do hot yoga, and I do boot camp and lifting. And like, I'm still gaining muscle strength. I'm still adding on weight. I'm still doing these things and keeping up with people who are half my age now, which feels really good. So I know that I feel like as far as that part of me goes, I'm able to do even more than what I was when I was sick. Because when I was sick, I still made myself move, but it hurt. Everything hurt. I was always in pain. So not to be in pain is like, I forget, So and then, just being able to truly enjoy the times that I get to spend with family and friends. Like I'm blessed to have these amazing humans in my life, but like, I would go to things and I would be there, but I felt just horrible. So truly being able to like take in the moments and like feel the feels and not feel like crap inside is, I think, a huge thing. I just, it's given me a sense of just myself.
Yeah.
I'm better than who I was now.
Yeah.
And I think I'm
Yeah.
because of all of it. And I think that's the part that going forward is just carrying me on to whatever's next in my life. So I love
Absolutely.
that.
Yeah. It's I, to know you now, you would never know
Nope.
all of that pain. And I mean, I know that you guys don't know us, a lot of you don't know us, but I met Liz. We were sharing an Airbnb as strangers at an event that we had in New Orleans, and Liz is that person that gets up before everyone and goes running. Like, you you ever stay with someone who does the morning run? I love to work out. I'm going to work out, 3, 4 times a week. But when I'm traveling, I'm not that person who's going to get up and run in a strange city. But Liz is. Like, that was amazing. That's the sign of a person who feels incredible.
Yeah.
And yeah, just to hear that you went from like that's where you are now, but before you didn't even want to get out of bed and
Well,
because you felt so
and I
bad.
think I was, and like I said, I'm still married. I'm 20 years married, and I'm
Yeah.
grateful. And my husband and I have been through our own marriage is a whole nother story.
Oh
But
yeah,
like
yeah,
I used to be very, very codependent on him because of feeling so bad and feeling, and it's not, but I feel like I'm more sense of independence in a good way now.
yeah,
And it's like, I feel like I have my own avenue that I'm on and journey with this business and what I'm doing, and like traveling and staying like with
yeah,
you at the, like, and not knowing you, like I never probably would have done something like that.
yeah,
But just that kind of goes to show the caliber of people that are within our company and the
yes,
like-mindedness of
yes,
the hearts of people even cross line and all around our organization. So I'm grateful
yes.
for our company because of that,
Me
because
too.
I've met so many great
Oh,
new friends, and I've been connected to all these health professionals that have also aided with my healing. Like,
right.
there's some other things. There's lots of modalities that can help you with whatever you're dealing with. And I think that's been another component I needed those people in my life for different reasons.
Right, right. Absolutely, absolutely. Would you, outside of your Lyme and the struggle that you have, and I know that that's so encompassing, but are there other things that you've noticed with activation? Sometimes it's my hair is so different, or it
Oh,
completely changed my
yes.
skin, or things that maybe you wouldn't have thought of. Like,
Well,
if
I
you
always have
did.
my hair up, so you don't even ever see it down really much. But I have very baby fine hair, and
Okay.
when I was sick and going through that, like hair and nails and eyes are a huge indicator of health as well. Like
Yes.
very brittle hair. Like I'd have hair flying out, especially I know a lot of mamas out there, we have issues after having with hormones, with losing hair. And
Yeah.
so I had a lot of breakage. I had a lot of just, just unhealthy hair.
Yeah.
My hairdresser always said my hair had such a weird texture. And
Yeah.
since starting all of our products, and it probably helps too, since COVID and everything, I stopped coloring my hair, so I'm not, damaging it in that way either. But I have zero gray still. I have zero color in my hair anymore. But like my hair is the healthiest it's ever felt. I used to have really brittle nails, and now my nails are very strong.
Yeah. It's
I
incredible.
Oh yeah, it's just
Yeah.
sun damage. I am the girl that back in the day wore the oil and worked
Yeah.
at the tanning booth
Oh,
and did all the things that I shouldn't do.
yeah. Yeah.
And I do have some. I'll have to give some pictures to you so you can post them. But
Yes.
the
Yeah.
sunspots and the sun damage, I've actually had huge improvements with my
Wow.
skin.
Wow.
And my family, like my dad and my mom, now they've been activated probably just as long as I have. But
Yeah.
my dad, he won't let me post his stuff. I did one time in my wellness group on Father's Day,
Yeah.
but he was that man who, same thing, tanners and
Yeah.
sun god.
Yeah.
And like he has had so much. And then with his arthritis, like he's very arthritic, and he's
Okay.
just so much relief with his.
Wow.
So seeing the people I love too just
Yeah.
have these has
Oh, it's
been a
everything.
huge thing.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and like I said, pretty much every product that we carry, our family uses, and
Yeah.
they fight over the Axia.
Oh
Like
yeah.
everyone's
Us too.
got their flavor. And if we're out or running low, I have athletes, and my
Yeah.
oldest is a nationally ranked runner, and she
Wow.
will not start. She'll drink one an hour before her race, because it's like
Wow.
she knows the benefits of it, and she feels it. So
Yeah.
that's
Absolutely.
so when they're asking for like products or they love the skincare. You know, they're at the ages where skincare is like a huge thing. And you know, it's sad because like a lot of friends and people, they like the skincares that smell good. And we just know that we can't use those because of the toxic load. Like their bodies
Yeah.
need to stay prime. And like I said, we're all in a good place right now, and that's where we want to keep it. So,
Yeah.
but they love our skincare.
What
Yeah, my
do
two
you see?
youngest,
What do you see on like athletic recovery? Because you're all athletes.
oh, yes, huge.
Yeah.
Yeah, soccer players. And my two youngest, I should mention too, if you have young kids, they still can't swallow pills. So the NRF2, you can easily, they say, if you're 70 pounds and over, you can take a full. If you're under 70 pounds, which my 13-year-old, she's a little over that, but I still break theirs in half and I split it, and I do half the ProBio in each of theirs, and I crush it with the back of a spoon, and we mix it in with, we have a dairy-free yogurt option that they use, and it doesn't taste good at all, but they just know that it's good for them, so they get it down. So I'm anxious for them to be able to swallow pills so that I can add in a few more things to their regimen. But
yeah. Wow. I actually had a client that put activated essentials, so the NRF2, the NRF1, and the ProBio into their special needs child's feeding tube. So that tells people like you can get it in. You know,
absolutely.
Yeah, and it was that child had remarkable results. It was incredible.
I've done like little protein bars too with like peanut butter and oats, but it's just too much work. So
yeah, I know.
For like a daily thing.
Yeah, I know. I've seen like the little recipes of the chocolates with the caramels and the Nerf 2, and I'm like, yeah, but who's gonna do that every day?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know.
Too, with Axio, which is great. My kids love the strawberry Axio, so we'll make. We used to have a great protein, but they discontinued it because of pricing, and so we use now a different vanilla protein powder. But they'll put that in with an Axio, and then blend that up, which they really love. And we have an orange prebiotic powder that tastes really good with it too. So we get creative over here, like mixologists. So it's fun.
Oh yeah, and we mix our Axios in a pitcher. Like we have a big Pampered Chef pitcher, and my kids' favorite Axio flavor is usually a combination of 5.
Oh my
like,
gosh,
I know.
Get that from you.
Yeah. We'll just combine flavors, and it's they always like it better. And I have to admit, I like the mixtures better than single flavors, even though I love the single flavors. But highly recommend mixing.
I am a dragon fruit girl. My husband's sour cherry. My oldest daughter's strawberry, and my other two like the purple grape.
Oh gosh, yeah. My kids. I mean, purple grape is hands down. Everyone will love the purple grape.
Yeah.
But yeah, I usually follow. I love them all. I can drink any of them anytime. Yeah,
I can too.
But my favorites are usually the limited time only flavors that get taken away from me and hurt my heart.
Yes. Well, and I can honestly tell you that I have not gone one day without taking my NRF2 at least. Like there's been times where I've had a panic, and like because that's how much belief I have, and I know that it's been good. And I think primarily because where I've started, I just know that I need it in my body. But like, you know, I'm lucky I have a lot of different people in the area now that are either on product. I mean, I have some good friends that are customers, and I will be like, you got to loan me some. They're customers. But anyway.
Have you ever doubled up? Have you ever gotten
to a
point where you thought?
Many times.
Okay.
So that's another good point. Like if if your body's ever under a lot of stress or like you're just feeling like you're getting sick, I will definitely take an extra NRF2 at night. So I typically take my stuff with my first meal. The NRF2 is fat soluble, so it does do better with eating some good fats or something with your diet. And then I'll take one before bed. And I have a lot of people too, and I was told way back that NRF2, if you do have trouble sleeping, that if you take it closer to bedtime, that it could really fit. But like I said, I'm pretty hard on my body for being 44, and if I start noticing a lot of like for my muscles and whatnot, I'll definitely double up.
Yeah, absolutely. Us too. It's such a joy to hear your story. I feel like too, when you see someone on the other side, sometimes it's hard to really grasp the enormity of what the before was, you know. And
and even too, my friends and people that love me, like they didn't understand the depths of what I was going through, because it's like I chose to put a smile on my face. So like people Lyme, along with a ton of other, chronic issues, it's invisible. So you truly
Yeah.
don't know what someone is dealing with. And I think that's the hardest part. And for me to come out now openly and sharing all that, like, I feel like some people question that, but it's like,
Yeah.
that's on them. That's fine,
Yeah.
because that is how I
Right.
felt, whether you believe it or not.
Right.
Like, that's,
Right.
for me, it was more mindset over matter. And it was now being able to, like, truly being an example of what health is now, and what and I'm not perfect. Like, I'm a human. So there's days where,
Yeah.
like, we do honor gluten and dairy-free diet,
Yeah.
primarily for inflammatory issues, because
Yep.
it's really not good for anyone, but
Yeah.
that's just our choice.
Right.
But yes, being on the other side, I think if I could be a beacon of hope for anyone, or if
Yeah.
anyone, even if it's just chronic issues, it doesn't have to be Lyme related, but if you do know someone that has Lyme, or if you want to connect, I'm always happy, because that's truly why I got into this. My heart was to, like, the biggest thing when I got that diagnosis, like, I no longer was alone. Like, I
Right.
finally was connected with a Lyme support group
Sure.
that actually, they got it. They understood. It's like living it and breathing it, and, like, when someone actually gets it, like, that's huge.
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm so happy for you. I feel like this interview was kind of like a celebration
Yeah.
of
Oh,
getting
I'm
into.
happy you invited me on. I appreciate it.
Oh my gosh, absolutely. I just appreciate your generosity to be so transparent and share your story, because I know it'll help people. This page has been up for years, so even in years to come,
Mhm.
people will come across this and see your story and actually feel like maybe there's a chance, they can take some power back. And when we can put hope in people's hearts and in their minds, it can change everything. And so I appreciate you taking the time,
Mhm.
and I celebrate you and your victories, because I absolutely adore the person that you are now. You're such a living example of health, and to know that you came from kind of the pit is just it makes it all the more sweet to
Oh,
celebrate. And
you're the
so
best too. And I know your heart's always here to help everyone else. So the fact that you invited me and allowed me to share, I appreciate that. And I always tell people, like, we're put on this earth for reasons. It's like, your story
yeah,
is to share, because it's,
yeah,
through it, you never know who you can help. So happy to
absolutely.
be here. Thank you.
Absolutely. Anybody who's watching who has questions, please know that